tennis is something that you can play forever, and it is something that makes you proud of what you've accomplished.
Hi, my name is Richard. As a tennis player and instructor, I always enjoy meeting players who, in my view, makes a difference.
What's your name?
Chuck Sobers.
In what state and city do you...
I live in Atlanta, Georgia since 1964. I was born and raised here.
How did you become a tennis player? How did you become interested into tennis?
Well, my parents both played tennis, my father especially, and in about 1969 I started playing tennis. I took group lessons with neighborhood kids and friends in the summer at Emory University. And from Emory University I went to DeKalb Tennis Center and Druid Hills Country Club, and played the rest of my junior career at both those places.
Let's talk about your origin. Is your family from someplace in Europe that you could recall?
No, they were German and Irish, but I was adopted and was basically in Atlanta 3 days after I was born, and that's pretty much where I stayed.
How did you get involved with tennis prior to doing what you're doing now?
I started with playing junior Alta and playing junior development and junior tennis tournaments and etc., starting when I was about 7 years old.
Did you choose tennis, or did tennis choose you?
I chose tennis. I played all sports until I was 10 years old. Decided I didn't like to lose, so I quit team sports. I chose an individual sport, which you didn't have to be perfect at.
How long ago is it since you started to play? And what was the driving factor that made you decide to stick with this route?
I would have to say tennis was very athletic. Very few people played it. It was kind of a sissy sport when I played it. It was use of wood rackets at the very beginning. I did not develop into a good player until I was probably 11 or 12. So I spent probably 3-4 years just trying to get to the top. And once I got there, it just kept going and rolling from there.
So, name a few things that motivated you as you were going along. It wasn't always rosy, I'm sure.
No, it was not. Things that motivated me was trying to get to be number one in the state, number one in the South, number one in the nation. I accomplished 2 of those 3 things and played Junior Davis Cup and went on to get a full scholarship in tennis and then travel on from there.
What are some of the accomplishments that comes to mind?
Well, one of the biggest accomplishments was getting a scholarship to college. That was a huge accomplishment. I also worked my whole time from age 11 on at DeKalb Tennis Center. I ran the tennis shop, strung tennis rackets, lived and breathed tennis, and that's what I wanted to do. My parents had nothing to do with it. That was my choice. I played adults mostly when I played, all different ranges. I was on the courts probably anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 hours a day from age 10 to when I finally quit at 24. My junior career would have been winning a gold ball, a national gold ball, winning 2 national tournaments. College, it was winning the SEC, being all SEC, all American. And on a professional level, I would say winning the Houston Open and playing the Pro Pen Tour after I left college my freshman year to try to turn pro.
How do you compare tennis today with what you're doing to what it was at the time when you were, climbing the steps?
I would say one huge difference is today everybody goes to an academy. I don't necessarily disagree with that or agree with that. I just think that everybody has to find where they are for themselves. I don't think there's a certain line you should follow in order to get to where you want to be. I was an individual that played totally different from a lot of people. In today's world, I think everybody just tries to knock the tee out of the ball and play from the baseline. I was not that kind of player. I served and volleyed every point and came in the net and was very aggressive all the time.
When comparing the modern tennis to
Old
the
tennis.
old or classic tennis, as
Yeah.
we like to call it,
Right. Good example. I've only been hurt once in my life, and that was a knee. I tore my ACL at 24, and that pretty much did me in. But I've only had one injury in my life because I play old-style tennis. I pull the racket straight back, straight through, used a 2-handed backhand back then. Now I use a 1-handed backhand, and today everything's a loop. Everybody's trying to hit the ball 100 miles an hour, and injuries are nagging, to say the least, for most professionals and probably for juniors too. No one got hurt when I was growing up, and we used a lot heavier racket and a lot worse string, worse everything back then. Getting the call about getting a scholarship to college, to a top university, and winning more than just a few tennis tournaments in my lifetime. So I would say winning probably my first junior tournament in Alabama was probably a very defining moment to make me continue playing tennis.
if I mention the name Howard Herr, does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, Howard Herr. Howard Herr had the worst reputation of just about any college player playing at Auburn. Cheated worse than anybody you could possibly imagine, and was awful line. Just, I can't even tell you how many times they actually changed the rule from let courts on college tennis to where they did not have let courts, all due to Howard Herr and a few others. Because when the game would get to 3-all and you'd hit an ace, he would call a let, and you could not say otherwise. We'll put it that way. So Howard and I are at other ends of the spectrum.
So let me go down a list of players I'd just like to have your opinion on.
Okay.
Andre Agassi, what's your opinion?
Unbelievable, best return server probably of all time.
John McEnroe.
Best hands of all time, probably one of the smartest players of all time, with less ability than some of his peers, but made himself the best he could be.
Stefan Edberg.
Classy, beautiful strokes, smooth as silk, unbelievable footwork.
Matt Wilander.
Matt Wilander had best ground strokes, one of the best backhands probably ever seen the game play.
How about Jimmy Connors? What do you think
Jimmy
of
Connors, sheer guts, determination, all psychological. He had probably the strongest head, loved the crowd, thrived with the crowd, and did not have a great serve and still was able to accomplish being number one in the world.
This was Ivan Lendl.
Ivan Lendl, ice. Ice was non-showing of any emotion. a robot out there. Basically, probably practiced and did that according to his personality.
And out of the mix, how about Yannick Noah?
Yannick Noah, colorful guy, very lovable by probably most fans, if not all fans. Remember his dreadlocks, great serving volleyer, great athlete, period. That's him.
So let's go to today. How about John Isner?
John Isner, huge serve, huge forehand, no backhand, no volley, but plays an extremely solid forehand game and an unbelievable serve. So he uses his one huge weapon to become top 10 in the world.
And let's talk about Sam Querrey. What do you think of Sam Querrey?
Don't know him really.
Are you surprised that there's not that many top 50 in the top 50? We don't have
Yes.
that many American players
Yes.
anymore? Do you think tennis is no longer being promoted in the proper manner?
I think it's not necessarily not being properly done. I think that they haven't got the general idea as to what's the best. Put it that way.
You're related to Ryan Harrison. What do you think of him?
Ryan Harrison, if he would change a little bit about his game, I think he would easily be top 50 in the world with no problem. He sits between 50 and 100 and will continue to do so unless he changes his game.
Okay. Well,
In my view, he always presents himself as a role model who with ease gets along with people. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I enjoyed making it.